Jason, very much. Earlier, Winston Kelley chatted with Jimmy Johnson, and not only is it Jimmy's last race, it's Winston Kelley's last race full-time after more than 30 years with the Motor Racing Network. The executive director of the NASCAR Hall of Fame is stepping back. We wanted to give Winston his own spotlight today and his own tribute.
I remember Winston Kelley when he was a pack mule. He showed up at the racetrack several times a year. John McMullen put him to work carrying gear. And that was his way of letting John and the network know that he wanted to be a part of it. And then came that fateful day at Martinsville. Somebody didn't show up, somebody who was supposed to work pit road. And John said, "Winston, suit up. You're in."
This is Winston Kelley with Brett Bodine. And Brett, you've had a lot of good success here in the Grand National Division and the Modified Division. How do you look for this afternoon's race?
Well, Winston, we're hoping it's...
He did a great job, and overall, you could tell about Winston is that he loved the sport so much.
Barney, we've caught up with Richard Petty. What are your immediate thoughts after the final time out of the STP Pontiac?
Well, it's just one of them deals.
Hey, Winston, it's been a pleasure working with you for over 30 years at the racetrack. You know, you took over your dad's duties just like I took over my dad's. The only thing is we're going to still see you at the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Congratulations on retiring from MRN, and thank you for being a good friend all these years. We will miss seeing you at the track.
75 degrees. My name, Jeff Striegel, alongside...
Winston Kelley will refer to many in the sport of NASCAR as legends. He'll never look at himself that way, even after 30-plus years in the sport, but I can tell you that a lot of us do.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. will win for the 6th time.
Hey, Winston, it's Dale Jr. Just wanted to say thanks for everything you've done to make this sport better. There's only a few people that really have that type of commitment and that, that pure positive attitude to do things the right way, to treat people the right way. And, you're an influence on people like me to do things better, to be a better person, to be a better asset to the sport. So I just want to thank you, man, for setting such a great example.
Backside now where Steve Post is there and some of
his
the drivers.
Compassion for people in the garage on a Sunday morning or a race morning. He is in the garage area leaning up against a set of tires, and it might be a Hall of Fame crew chief and a young crew guy all holding court, all talking and laughing and cutting up and learning about the individuals. And Winston just always walked into that garage area and MRN Studios and everywhere he goes with a high degree of respect for everybody.
Brad Keselowski wins the Federated
Winston Kelley. Well, when I think of the voice of NASCAR, there's two people that come to my mind. It's Winston Kelley and Barney Hall. How fitting it is, Winston, that you go out as, to me, one of the best NASCAR announcers of all time, and you transition your legacy into the Hall of Fame. You've done an amazing job there. We're proud of you. Glad to have you in our sport. We're going to miss you. Thanks, Winston.
The drivers, Alex Hayden is the one.
I distinctly remember early on in my tenure, after leaning on Winston for direction and advice, when the late, great Barney Hall walked up to me and said, in that typical soft voice that Barney always had, he said, "Son, I saw you talking to Winston. He knows what he's doing. You listen to him and you'll be just fine."
Jimmy Johnson wins at Homestead.
There's so many great moments. I would say the most vivid one for me is calling him and asking him if he would be the MC for my retirement announcement, and then having them there for that whole highly emotional experience that I had. I couldn't think of anyone better. His love for the sport and respect for it, the respect he's always shown me, our friendship. It was a real honor to have him there for such a big part of my career and such a meaningful moment for me and my family.
Series, I'm Kurt Becker.
On a live broadcast, we all get ourselves backed into a corner at times. We could always throw it to Winston on pit road and know that somehow he was going to correct our mistake without calling attention to the fact he was correcting our mistake. He always protected the dignity of his fellow broadcasters.
Barry, Vermont, it's Dave Moody.
Taught us a lot of lessons over the years about coming to the track prepared, being ready, being trustworthy, being willing to go above and beyond, and maybe even do a job that wasn't specifically yours, all for the good of the network.
Mr. H, it all started in Martinsville in 1984. Now we're at 200. Your reflections on tonight.
I didn't think it was ever going to happen.
This is Rick Hendrick, and I want to congratulate Winston Kelley on 30 great years with MRN. He's a class act. Everybody loves him. He does a phenomenal job. He's fair to everyone in the sport, and what a great guy. He's done an awesome job with the Hall of Fame, and he's going to continue that, so I just applaud him for all the great things that he's accomplished and all the friends he's made in NASCAR.
Jeff Gordon across the line.
What an amazing career, amazing voice. Can't imagine a NASCAR race being broadcast without hearing Winston Kelley's voice calling it and reporting. So certainly some great moments and great times, some great interviews in Victory Lane and on pit road over the years.
The Motor Racing Network's Joe Moore.
But Winston, I wish you well as you go into this semi-retirement, whatever you call this. This sounds to me like our old buddy Ed Shull, who retired at least 5 times and kept showing up. I think that's probably going to be you because you don't want to commit to completely going away. But let me tell you, my friend, when you do step back a little bit, you're going to appreciate the time with your family and your friends, and you deserved it, my friend. Congratulations on a great career with Motor Racing Network.
There you go, a fantastic career, and Winston is with us now. So, Winston, I think the best way to proceed now is to steal your question from Jimmy Johnson earlier and ask, what are your emotions like right now?
Well, you guys pulled out all the people that I respect so much on this network and off this network, but I would say my emotions are thankful. Just incredibly thankful to be a part of this industry. Thankful to all the drivers, the crew members, the crew chiefs that have allowed us to be the conduit of information. But what I'm going to take away more than anything, and I'm still going to be around, but what I'm going to take away from this job are the friendship that will last a lifetime. And I've tried to remind myself this week, don't be sad because it's over. Be thankful and glad because it's happened.
That's definitely a perfect way to look at it, Winston. We thank you for everything you've done and for the friendships you've given us. Motor Racing Network won't be the same without you. Coming up, we'll take one last trip down to talk to the drivers before opening ceremony.